The DLX Ice.
Ready? Do it.
Looks great.
Kevin's gonna go crazy over that one.
USA design.
I got that on record.
Same magnetic eye covers, it looks like.
Good job, boys.
Alright guys, one thing we want to point out, the markers that are in the case are prototypes. One of the things we like to do and have the unique ability to do is when we have the marker, what we feel done, our engineering team tells us it's done, we actually go ahead and turn it over to a couple of professional paintball players and say, hey, what do we need to change? What do we need to do to make these ergonomics perfect? So we have made some minor modifications from what you see in the final production. The upper edge of the marker will be a slightly narrower design with another milling groove in the top. The trigger guard itself will have a slightly different angle in the forward grip area. That really allows your high grippers in the front, the guys that really get their thumbs up there, to have a little bit more room. So we did change that. The ASA is going to be exactly as is. The trigger is going to be as is. A lot of the body lines are going to be as is. But what you are seeing here is a prototype of the final version. Like I said, we always try and run it through our unique resource prior to finalization. So that's what you have here is the Luxe Ice prototype. A couple of really cool folk features. Obviously, you guys can readily notice the foregrip has that grip section on it. The marker will ship with a rubberized polymer replacement panel for that. So while we feel all metal is what a high-end marker should be, we've had a lot of players request to have a grip panel in that area. So you will be able to interchange that with a rubberized grip panel. The way it actually locks in is there's a pin through the top that it actually clips in through the top and then secured at the base with the regulator nut. What's really cool about this particular design is it allows us to do a couple things. First of all, the regulator main body is part of the body of the gun, which lets us make it very light, keeps the structural rigidity, and makes it incredibly strong. But what it also lets us do is make that interchangeable panel clip in and out. But the cartridge system of the regulator also allows quick change for the regulator. So one of the advantages of the Luxe always used to be that you could interchange the regulator, work on the regulator very quickly. That is maintained in here, and the regulator is incredibly simplified. There are no special tools, there are no circlips, there's nothing in the regulator. One Allen key, you can strip the whole regulator down and put it back in. One Allen key, you can change your forward grip panel from aluminum to polymer as you choose. Another really interesting thing that isn't necessarily obvious is our changes to the trigger. Previously, on the previous iterations of Luxe, you would have to remove the trigger frame itself in order to take the trigger out. We have a lot of players that would get shot in the trigger and want to take the trigger out but not tear down the whole gun. So what we really did is we changed the trigger frame so that you could remove the trigger without having to take the whole frame off. Electronics, we really felt we had an incredible package. I mean, the marker speaks to, from the factory, 5 different languages, as well as have the OLED LED screen in the back. So what we've done with electronics is a simplification. The wires themselves don't bridge any body gaps, so your eye wires are going to go to a sync, or excuse me, what is it, a serial bus between the two, so your body and frame will have that connection there. The barrel is completely unchanged. We still feel the Freak is the best marker, or the best barrel in the market, and that's why it's included with it. It is Luxe threaded. You know, it's going to remain Luxe threaded. It is not changed, so it's still that quick 3 turns to get out. The barrel's still compatible with all 3 fronts and backs. So if you do want to use the carbon fiber front or something like that else on the front, you can do that as well. The ASA on top of being molded down is also lever action, because it is going to be very tight. There are very few moving parts in there, so the things that you have down in the dirt are going to have really long-lasting seals. Now the important thing, and where the Luxe gets its name, is the engine. The new engine is plated in internal ceramic elastomer. That's what ICE stands for. What that means is wear is greatly reduced. This is incredibly hard, incredibly durable material. Also greatly reduces friction and wear. So your maintenance intervals are much longer than previous, so you're not going to have near as much necessity to grease the marker. Sustained rates of fire, again, you're going to have incredible wear characteristics and really what drives this marker. So, the Deluxe Ice, feel free to grab anybody and ask, and I believe we have some brochures for those who like.